Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. It's Friday night. You guys know what time it is. It is Ready to Love recap. Thank God this season is finally over. Thank God we have gotten through second part of the reunion. Let me go ahead and bring my guest co-host on, Scorpio Moe,
What up?
also known as Mo Better. What's going on? How was your week?
You know what? Today was a great week. It was. It went by real smooth. No complaints. No complaints. Yours?
I it was a full week. I'm still kind of getting back from being out of town, trying to
When
get
did you
back.
when did you get back?
I got back Monday.
Monday. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, and then my birthday was Tuesday,
Right.
and then my anniversary was
Okay.
Wednesday, and then my husband's birthday
Right.
was Thursday. So, I'm so behind on work.
Got
But yes, it's been a good week. I can't complain. It was my birthday week. So,
There you go.
no complaints. No complaints. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Nisi. Hey, Kay. Hey, Ramel. You guys come on in. I'm glad that you guys are ready. I didn't even want to play any music today. I just wanted to get straight to it because today was the part two of the reunion for Ready to Love. First of all, I want to say if you did not see our conversation yesterday on mental health as it relates to reality TV, specifically to some of the things that we saw with Ready to Love, but even other reality shows as well, make sure that you check that out. Yesterday's conversation, I thought it was really well. What did you think
Very.
about
Nah, it was good. It's very informative. I don't know how much I'm buying it for this evening or what we do, but I can see how I could go that way.
it? Yeah, I think. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that make excuses for their behavior, and
Right.
I'm also always going to feel like that. But that's also because I am hard on myself. You've known me for
Right.
like 20 years, so you know if I'm wrong, and I actually apologize if I seemed insensitive to Taquilla um, in my conversation before, but I am hard on people I care about. And I had a couple of conversations with Taquilla, and I just wanted, I was treating her like I would treat a sister. And a sister, I would say, girl, you know, you got to take responsibility for yourself. And I feel like tonight, there were a lot of people that were not taking responsibility for themselves.
But dig this, you're on the other side of production as well. So you know what goes on behind the scenes. So
Yeah,
I can't really tell you, you see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. And that's the truth. Like I've been on reality shows with talent, right?
Mhm.
As a producer, I've been on as a publicist on set,
Right.
and so I know I my position is this, and I've talked to you about this before. Hey, Chandra, what's up, fellow Hornet? Hornets in the house.
The
It's my
hell is
love. My heart is always with BTW back in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But yeah, I feel like production can be tricky, yes. But at the end of the day, what you give people is what they have to work with.
right.
And I would tell you that. Like when you would do interviews a long time ago, I'd be like, look, what you say can and will be used against you. That's just life.
That's a fact. Especially now with the internet and everything, it's there.
Yeah, it's there. And and also, this is the problem that I have. And I just want to say this as we get into tonight's conversation. Like, I know I'm old school, right? But growing up, I have a brother. My little brother's name was Aaron. And if I did something crazy and my mom was like, Crystal, why did you do this? And then I said, well, Aaron did it too. She would say, I didn't ask you what Aaron did. What did you do? Right. And I'm like, so I was taught as a kid that I couldn't point the finger at somebody else.
Right.
I had to take accountability for myself. And so, when you work in an industry, your behavior, you are responsible for your behavior. You can't point out what somebody else is doing. So I never really understood when people want to point out what other people are doing. It's kind of like,
Man, they knew what they signed up for. I don't want to hear that. They know.
I
They,
don't know. I don't know. Well, let's get it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Tonight's conversation, there was a lot they covered in a short period of time.
right.
First of all, we opened up with the it wasn't really a fight. It was a confrontation. You know, the confrontation between Taquilla and Janelle, and a lot of posturing, because I also feel like, and I'm not a fighter, but I know people that do fight, and people that fight don't do a lot of talking.
Right.
They do a lot of fighting. Right.
But I was, because you remember, I came in at the end of it.
Yeah.
And seeing last week's reunion show, the part 1 and part 2, you know, in these shows, there's a villain, right?
Right.
And at first, I thought it might be 2, a villain and a co-villain, right?
Right. Right. It's usually a villain and a sidekick, and a heroine and a sidekick.
There you
Right?
go. Exactly. So I'm thinking that Taquilla was the villain.
Okay.
But then when I'm watching it and seeing the clips and seeing the second part of the reunion, I found out who the damn villain was.
And you believe the villain is
Janelle.
Janelle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you see from Janelle? Not Bossy D said this season was all all villains.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, Tiffany. Janelle hit the table. She shook the table.
Right. Now,
Table said she's shaking the table.
The thing that I hate is that when the villain does something and doesn't get the response that they want, then they turn around and play the victim.
Yeah.
I think Taquilla did, in a sense.
Yeah.
They all did it. I mean, well, her and, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think everybody has to be responsible for their own actions. I feel like last week, the way Taquilla did Phil had nothing to do with Janelle.
Right.
It had everything to do with Taquilla, right? I don't care what he did or what he said. There was no excuse for her throwing him under the bus and trying to make him look small about his bankruptcy and all that, right? Now, on the other hand, the way Janelle has acted has nothing to do with anybody but Janelle.
True.
But I will say this, and I want to hear from the women in the comments. I really don't understand why the other women were paying her that much attention. Because I feel like there's always, women around. I feel like the women gave her too much power. Like, I'm like, girl, because tonight when she said they're obsessed with me, I was just like, I hate that y'all have even been talking about her, because you're just making it seem like she's right. Like,
that's what I was thinking.
I would have paid her dust.
That's what I was thinking about. It was a Lee, right?
Yeah.
And they had that exchange, and I'm just like, Lee, like, stop. That's giving her the power. Like, your power isn't leaving it alone and doing you.
Yeah.
Because that's what's turning her on. She has an audience. Janelle has an audience, and she's performing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot of performing for the audience. But I also say, Lee did shut it down because she was like, I'm not going to go back and forth. And I think Lee carried herself great the entire time. She didn't fall into it and all that. But honestly, Quinton, I would have paid him dust as well. Like, why were the other women even trying to be a part of the process with him when it was so clear that he's a grown man, right?
Right.
I know he's younger than Janelle, but Quinton is a grown ass man. And for him to be like, it was just very uncomfortable for me. Lee should have ended that energy with him way before. Like, Katarina, I don't even know why you would try to have a conversation with him, because he was so busy running behind Janelle. Let him have her. Let him have her.
I was uncomfortable with the tattoos on his thigh. That shit looked crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
But I just felt like, and I feel like, I also know that production might have been egging them on to do that, right? Production might have been saying, hey, why don't you ask Quinton this, or why don't you ask Quinton that? But I'm like,
what would be the angle on that, though?
Well, they like to try to create triangles always are what drives this show from the very beginning, right? So there's always a threesome that ends up like the guy being kind of caught between the two women. So if you try, because Lee did say that, like she wasn't really about reality TV. So she didn't want to do the stuff that they wanted her to do. But I'm assuming, because I just can't imagine that Katarina or Lee would have kept even trying to have conversation with him when he was clearly didn't, whether he was afraid or she had him on lock or whatever. If you can't handle having conversation with
Right.
other women, then clearly you're not the man for me.
Do you think it was about him, or do you think it was about her losing to her? You see what I'm saying?
I do think that. I do think that, but still, if he's I see what you're saying, but I mean, if he was not even trying, he was like only from the clips that we saw, and I
Yeah.
always wanna preface it by saying there could have been stuff that happened when we did not see, that editing did not allow us to see. But in the clips that we saw, Quentin didn't even laugh with anybody besides Janelle. He wouldn't talk to anybody. And so like tonight when Janelle was like, he wasn't interested and he moved on, it just kind of added insult to injury. He did not come on that show to get to know multiple people. I'm with Lorraine. Like, how did he last? Why didn't the women vote him out way before this?
They like the way he looks. That's easy.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they necessarily liked him, but he was taller, he's bigger than the other guy. I think they just eye candy or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
I
But
don't. Lisa said he was being muscled around by Janelle. I'm not. I'm not going with that.
I
I said y'all tonight. I tell y'all tonight. Last night we did the mental health. Tonight I'm gonna give it to y'all what I really think. I'm not. I'm not pulling no punches. No grown ass man gets muscled around by a woman. No. And if he allows himself to be muscled around, then that's on him. And that means he's not even like no. But I'm not taking that as an excuse for his behavior, because him treating the other women that way didn't have anything to do with Janelle. It really had to do with him. Why would he allow himself to be manipulated like that if he really was? Maybe that's, and another thing, I'm going to say this, and I tell you this all the time. A lot of times people get with people. The Bible says two cannot walk together unless they are agreed, right?
right.
Most of the time, like I posted something the other day that says, if my husband told you that he can't do something and he said, Christal said I can't do it, it ain't because Christal said it. He don't want to do it and he's using me as a scapegoat. 9 times out of 10 in a couple, the other person agrees with the person that has the stronger personality, right? They just may not have the strength to do it themselves, so they let the other person do it. So I don't think, yeah, I know it. Trust me, I know a lot of couples like that. It's they play good cop, bad cop. I do it with clients. A client will tell me, Christal, I don't want to do that. But they don't want the other person to know that they don't want to do that show. So guess what? Christal goes in and says she's not going to do that show, or he's not going to do that show. He didn't want to do it anyway. He just didn't want to tell you that. So I if Quinton wanted to even have conversations with any other women, he could have done it. He didn't want to. And he let Janelle look like the bad guy.
He was intimidated by her age, maybe.
I don't think he was intimidated. I think he didn't want to. I don't think he was interested in any of the other women.
Do you think she was safe? She's the safe one for him.
I don't know. Only he can. I don't understand the dynamic, but what I do know is that he did not want to, he was not interested in the other women at all. Now, whether they were doing it as an alliance because they knew they would get to the end, I don't know. What I do know is that he was not interested in anyone else. And I don't believe he was scared of Janelle. How can he be scared of Janelle? How? How?
I know how. But check, I just think he might have been. She's just does what's her name? Does she have kids? The other one?
Who? Lee? Lee doesn't have children, and neither does Neither does Katarina.
See them saying that though? Something ain't right, man.
Wait a minute. Now I do have a comment that I want to put up here. Okay, why Valentine? We have something that may make sense. My friend's a trainer and made an interesting statement. Male trainers vet clients and typically date older women with money because they don't make money yet leverage physique.
You know
Now
what? I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen that
Oh,
here in Atlanta.
the older actress. She do that happened to her. She tried to buy the dude the gym and all that.
Are you talking about Vivica?
No, you know the lady with she played everybody's mama on TV on the movies.
Oh, Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Jennifer did tell us about that. Yes.
He was going to open up a gym and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she she sued because she took it to court. She told. I don't know. I have heard that, and I also have heard this. I have heard that men that are trainers typically date women that are not necessarily in shape the way they are.
What?
I have.
What?
No, I know a few couples where the guy is in shape and the woman is a little bit not in shape.
As a client or dating her?
Dating her, because a lot of times those men are dating their clients.
Well, yeah, I saw that today. That's one of the photographers, personal. Yeah, I saw that today. Cameron posted that today, by the way.
Hilarious. Yeah, I don't think that, but my point is why he liked Janelle, it doesn't even matter.
A lot of them.
What I do know is that he did not like Kat or Lee enough to even want to have a conversation with them. And the way he treated them in the house, he was up underneath Janelle. I just can't buy that as a grown man he would be afraid because.
Bet.
Huh?
She's the safe bet. She got kids. She's looking for someone to be there in the house.
Janelle doesn't have kids.
No, she do, right?
Who?
Janelle, she have kids?
No.
Oh, but she wants one.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Okay. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Lee is also a personal trainer and has an actual business that's doing very well.
Right?
Say what?
That would make sense, right?
I thought so. And even when she was here, I asked her because I thought it would have made sense. But I have also heard men say that they said Scorpio Moe does not watch the show.
No, yeah. I know what I got it confused with the other woman. My bad.
But I don't think that I've heard a lot of personal trainers don't date other personal trainers. So D said Q said he dated older women. Lee and Kat are too much on his same level, wanting to be taken care of. I don't see him, and we didn't really get a chance to see like what his thoughts were when it came to the dynamic of a man and a woman. Like we didn't see much about them. We just saw them laughing together. We didn't really see them having real conversations. And the only real conversation we did see them have was about the fact that he wanted 3 children and she was like, no, I would give him 1.5. And it just wasn't, we didn't see anything that suggested they stay together. Let me ask you this. Do you think that they are together?
No, but me personally, no, because I think he's gay. But I just think for the show he did. You heard him when they said, "Well, where are we at right now?" How many months ago was that when they stopped filming?
Yeah, that was a lot. And we have. I don't believe they're together now. I don't believe that they're together now. It's obvious that Marie and Jessica are not together.
Hell no, they ain't together. She don't want that nigga.
It was funny because people were saying like, how far apart they were on the sofa. Like there was never any connection
Right.
at all between the two of them. Like you never ever saw them sitting close to each other. I feel like Marie was trying to make it seem that way when they were, but it just didn't work.
He is the corniest nigga on the show. I'm sorry. He is. He is. He is. I saw a post that he put out.
Oh, yeah.
Say two of America's most.
He did. He played the Tupac record.
No, but really, I saw his interactions with the other women, and I was like, he had the same vibe with all of them. That let me know it was all fake.
I feel like he was. I'm saying Marie had more connections with the women than anybody else.
Cause he was playing.
Nah,
it was fake. I think
anybody can play and still not. What do you think? Do you think it? Well, why do you think the women were even open to him playing though?
Because he said what they wanted to hear. I do it all the time. Trust me. He said what they wanted to hear.
I just don't understand why Herbert, and we didn't hear much from him at all. There were a lot of people that we didn't hear from pretty much at all on this reunion. We didn't hear from Herbert very much. We didn't hear anything from Leanne and Brandon from that were let go in the beginning. Like, you know, I don't even know why they dressed up and came to the reunion. You know, but Preston said they put him in the friend zone. I guess, because I mean, again, it's weird. It's giving like fake vibes to me because how did Amari not get vote? How did Quinton stay in with no connections besides Lee? How did Marie have all these Like, what the hell was?
It wasn't real. I think he was reporting back information. That's how the whole combative thing. So that's what he did.
Yeah. Well, but let's talk about the combative conversation tonight. Chris, and I like Chris, but
Chris hung himself.
Chris should have just owned up to it. Yes. Now, what I do like about tonight's episode is they did go back and show where Chris was not disrespectful to her initially. At the end, definitely was, but he was very clear about the fact that he did not like. He was like, don't talk to me the way you talk to other people that are in your service. That was very clear, right? And I don't know if she was receptive to that or not, but at the point that he told me, because when we did his interview, he said that they kept putting her on dates with him after the connection was gone.
Right.
I really felt like, and this is the thing about we talked about last night, it was not her, it was the attitude that he got from her because he was attracted to her, but he did not like the energy. And people always say that men are going to end up with the woman, not the woman that they're mostly attracted to, but the woman that gives them peace and makes them feel comfortable. And he told her up front that's not what he wanted.
Right.
So at the point that it kept going, and then I think it got to the point, but he did apologize. But I wish he had just owned up to it and said, I did say that. That's how I felt. That was my experience.
He saw the clip. He still said he didn't say it.
He would never just say, I said it. I was wrong. Or even he said, I don't apologize for how I felt, which is cool.
Right.
But he did say it. Like he never just said he said it. That was crazy.
It's true. It's true. The producers stirred the pot. Once that man didn't want to do that, I think the producers just wanted a reaction.
Yeah, they did. They did. And he did say that she was. At first, he said that her actions were combative, but he said it like 3 or 4 times.
Then he said it to her.
But
here's the thing. He did all that, and when she said, when she was talking to him during the reunion, she was combative then.
What did she say?
I'm saying, right? She was combative. I'm like, y'all don't see this? Like, come on, man. And it is nothing. If if at times you get like that, so what? Like, I don't understand well, you shouldn't say a black woman. I'm confused about that. Could somebody help me out?
We talked about that yesterday. I can't even go back. If you guys are wondering our take on that, I don't feel like, and I understand what all the different women, that were in the chat yesterday. I have been a black woman in corporate America. I've been a black woman in corporate America that was the only black woman in that company, in that area, right? Where in that building, I was the only black person. And so I understand what it feels like to be painted as anything you do, you're charged differently. But that does not absolve me from being accountable. That does not mean because white people or others paint us a certain way that we have carte blanche to just act any kind of way with each other. Like, it just doesn't mean that. So again, I'm always going to err on the side of accountability. And I'm sure that there have been times when everybody has been combative. Like, that's just a part of life. I don't feel like there's any word that I'm above besides bitch.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not calling me out of my name, if you're talking about an adjective that explains your experience, that's your opinion. Right. And I could take self-introspection, see if I agree with it. If I do, I can make changes. If not, I can throw it back at you and let it go. Right. But all this energy over a word is silly to me.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
It's silly. I think that it's unfortunate because out of tonight's episode, I don't really feel like there was any resolve made. Tommy just kept saying, well, certain people don't like each other, blah, blah, blah. But the reality of it is, I think on this show, number one, when you come on the show and you are sensitive or you're not totally self-confident, that's a problem.
Right.
Because people are going to say something. I feel like at the end of the day, unfortunately, I agree with Janelle when she said, maybe if you were worried more about the guys and not worried about me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I hate that I have to agree with her, but at that point, nobody should be caring about if another girl doesn't like me. Who cares? I don't care. Like, I'm going to be nice to everybody. If that's not the energy I get back, I've done that with people. And, some of the people that we're talking about, I've showed you kindness.
Right.
You show me your ass to kiss. I'm not kissing your ass. I just keep it moving. You're a non-factor to me. So if another woman is dismissive, because we saw a lot of dismissiveness, a lot of condescending talk, you can't offend me if you're trying to be condescending. If I don't receive it, you don't exist. I'm not there for you. And I feel like a lot of people's feelings got hurt because for Jessica to say you're not the kind of bitch I deal with, girl, please. I'm not there. So I think that when people come on this show, it's unfortunate that the producers promote that type of energy among females, but you have to know that no one is responsible for yourself but you. So if you are allowed to, if you allow them to play you and put you in a situation, then that's kind of on you, because we're adults. We're not children. These are not teenagers. These are people in their 30s and 40s.
But in the auditioning process, do they realize they're picking you they're not just picking you just because we want to see you try to find somebody. That's what you're there for, supposedly, but they're picking you to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they are picking personalities that they know are going to entertain.
Yeah.
And I think when we figure out why we are entertained by watching each other bicker and go back and forth with each other, then we'll figure out the issue. But you're right, they do pick personalities, because I believe that even the people that didn't give us all that negative energy, we didn't see very much of them on the show. We didn't see very much of their dates, right? We didn't see.
What was his name that played the saxophone?
Habibi.
Exactly. They knew exactly what they were doing when they picked
They knew. And Tiffany said Janelle has a fly mouth. Janelle definitely does have a fly mouth. She definitely got a fly mouth. But I think the reason, and I don't know, we know that she pulled up at Kat's house and all that. That's went on off camera, right? They were
Oh,
going back. They were talking reckless to each other back and forth. Like I don't even know. It was wild. Those text messages and stories, and it was wild. But she pulled up, and I mean, do y'all really think Janelle's gonna fight?
she pulled up the Cat's house. Cat'll beat her ass.
She got a slick mouth because she's quick with it, right? But the only reason that she even had the opportunity to do that is because they were engaging her. If you shut it up, and some of the other women probably had a smart mouth, but they might not have been as quick with it.
Was she the one that made the comment about the feathers?
She made yeah, she was like her feathers. Like
you poking the girl like you're was an antagonist or
she was antagonizing Taquilla.
right.
She was antagonizing Taquilla. But I feel like if I was Taquilla, if Taquilla was my friend and I'm on the show, I'd be like, girl. Like I wouldn't even give her the energy to go back and forth with somebody that's just like, let her worry. I'm not,
If Quilla was your friend, you probably should have told her don't wear that dumbass outfit she had on.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Mo is in way.
Yeah, feather threw me off.
But yeah, I don't believe that Janelle would have pulled up on Taquilla. I really don't. I don't. And
well, I guess she knew.
I feel like she even really wanted Kat. I feel like it was just at that point the batteries in your back and you're performing because you got people on live. Because she went over there on live, and
you can't even count those moments because they know security is gonna break it up.
But they weren't even. This was off. This was when they were finished filming.
No, I'm talking about in the reunion. Was it last?
Yeah, on the reunion is silly, but she went to her house. She went to her house when they were finished filming.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. And then they were saying, well, you don't have a car. Well, you don't have a car. Well, my car is paid for. Like that. And to say, well, I'm 40 and 42 years old, a 42-year-old should not have time to go back and forth with somebody.
Exactly.
Like that. Not with a business that, Christal, did you mention previously that you know Janelle personally? I did not. And I just wouldn't even, that energy, I wouldn't even have gave it energy to do anything. Like,
so let me ask you this, with that energy and you seeing what that is and you meeting someone else, do you think you can spot that early if someone has that same type of energy?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my point in Jessica's situation when we was talking about that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that just like for a woman knows, like I know there are certain type. I mean, thank God I don't have to deal with the dating world. But up until a few years ago when I got married, I knew certain guys. I could spot that energy. I'm like, it may look good, but that's not what I'm into. And I've done been there, done that.
Right.
And so I know that that's not what and even some females, like, you're right. I'm not pulling up. First of all, I wish I would waste my gas and my time. Like, and I don't know if it's because I was a mother young. So maybe I don't understand some of that because when you have children, well, at least my perspective of it, when you have children and you have other things you got stuff to lose. I'm not playing with y'all. Like I'm not in middle school. I'm not doing that. So I don't even understand getting a woman. The only person I would even have that much energy and be that mad at would be somebody that I cared about deeply. I don't know you. So why would I care that much to get in my car and go to you? Like, I don't care that much about you. So I don't even understand how the tension got that high. I feel like the tension only gets that high when you're hitting sore spots.
Right.
Like, girl, I got kids to take care of and a husband to take. I'm not work and all them and these women have jobs and real careers and are great at what they do. So it's just surprising to me that people have the time And I understand that sometimes people can get under your skin and you want to be like, but to get in a car and then
Yeah,
do it on live so that other people can see you, like the maturity level there is.
would go to the point of putting it on live lets me know it ain't real.
It means that you're trying to show how tough you are, and that really is not how people really move that are tough.
It ain't real. They gonna lock your dumb ass up, and they got.
They're not even gonna lock you up because you're not gonna do nothing. You're just gonna do a whole bunch of talking and then post it on Instagram. Like that's lame as hell. I just wish that the women would have not even given the energy to the negativity. Because
Right.
the thing about negativity is if you just be like, child, please, and keep it moving, because whatever man wants to deal with a woman like that, let him have her.
You ain't gonna make the show though.
See what happens. That's true. That's true. And maybe everybody's trying to make the show.
That's one of the questions they ask you. You know, when you're doing the audition, if somebody, how would you address it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about Aries and Phil. Because I watched the interview with Aries, and you're right, Clesta. Aries did ignore her the whole show, and that's exactly, and that's why you saw no energy. Like it just, if you ignore it, you don't have nowhere to go. But stay over there.
Yeah.
You know. Um, so VC says if Janelle was such an issue, why did all the men like her? All the men have said that she knows how to. I mean, really, it. If a man is, men can be attracted to whatever they're attracted to, but I'm concerned about why the women were allowing her quips and her. Basically, she was doing a lot of rolling the eyes and little under the. Just.
Can I tell you why they did? Well,
Yeah.
I think they did. What happens is, you and I talked about this before. Like, you see that energy, but it's not pointed towards you.
Yeah.
So you think, well, it's not towards me. So you don't really, but not knowing that eventually it's going to come around to you, deal with it. So whether you're in a restaurant, you're on a date, and the girl is rude to the waitress or whatever, customer service or whatever it is, eventually that's going to be you. So it's the same thing, but she's pretty, she's talking to you, she's catering to you, she's looking in your eyes, and you seeing her doing that to the women, and you just be like, well, that's how she acts towards women.
Yeah.
But you find out the hard way that it goes both ways. And so
I just feel like at a certain point, I don't even want a man that is comfortable with a woman that treats other people.
You got to grow. If you never had that before, you don't know. You bump your head on that a couple times. I know.
Yeah. I mean, to me, and I will say this: did you guys pick up C-Dub, Deep Side Gang in the house? Did you guys pick up on the fact that Red seemed a little bothered by?
Yo, he did some suck. Listen, man.
He was like, "Oh, so is this exclusive?" Because you guys know that Red said that he had gone out with Janelle, and from what I've heard in the Dallas streets, Janelle and Red have been dating. So
he's a bozo. That was corny. He was a bozo. Come on, man. You don't do like. What was the point? You don't get no points for that.
Nah.
Come on, man.
Well, I mean, if they are happy together, God bless them. God bless them. Somebody says she's 42 and never been married. That's not a bad thing. I don't think that you can't judge a person I don't judge a person by anything other than how they treat people, right? Other than their character. Like you can definitely be 42 and not be married. And there'd be nothing wrong with you. It just may not be your time. But I think that, your looks, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There's always going to be someone that finds someone beautiful. There's always going to be someone that finds somebody's personality engaging. But if you have a nasty personality for no reason, that's a problem, right? That's a problem. So I feel like that's the only thing that we should be judging each other on. I don't like when people try to say, oh, well, you can't keep a man. you know, I don't feel like that has anything to do with a person. Now, if you see them constantly repeating the same behavior, but we don't really know anything about these women and these men. All we know is what we meet from them right here. So we can't say that. But we can say that how you treat other people says a lot about you. Um, you know, so if Janelle and Red are happy, God bless them. And I do think Red, I never thought that Janelle and Q were a match because I do feel like she's more mature in some ways than he is. I don't feel like he's ready to take care of a woman. Oh, I don't feel like he's in a place that he's ready to do. You know what? Let's talk about Kira and Marie and the culture situation because that was weird. I feel like even trying to address that in that short little segment was weird.
I didn't see enough to even really. I mean, obviously there was an issue, but with it. But what did she say that was so?
Well, she said, like we saw tonight, she said, which I feel like she was out of pocket. She said, that she thought she just got the feeling from Quinton that that he preferred people that were women that were not black, that he probably did not date black women. And I felt like, and we talked about that when she was here. I just feel like that was something that you don't say, even if you feel like that. Like just because there are certain people that say what they think, they're just like a blank slate and they'll say whatever. I mean, they're very, very honest. But sometimes you got to know when to say certain things and when not.
Right.
So it did seem like some of the other women agreed with her, but you notice she was the only. Everybody else sat back and let her say it.
I know. Don't act like black people don't talk like that.
No, black people do talk like that, absolutely. But I'm saying on a show like that, right, you gotta know that you can't just come at somebody. And the way she did, she was like, so. I mean, she just went right in for it, and he was just like, and of course, the production allowed that to be a big segment. Right. Also, I do feel like I agree with Where's the Juice. Kira has, you know, she was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. She's acknowledged.
To believe
what?
I find that hard to believe. I need to see photos. She don't.
What are photos? I'm gonna pull up a photo right
now. I don't see it.
I'm gonna pull up a photo. Hold on, y'all. Somebody put a photo in the chat. Mo is out of control tonight.
I'm just saying. Come on. She look like a chick. Come on, man.
No. I can see her being a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
I can't see it. How many years old was this?
I'm looking it up, Mo, but not very many because she's in her early 30s.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
She was in. No, I have proof.
Out on the team.
No. In 2017, Kira was a member of the world famous Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I have proof. I mean, she looks like a cheerleader to me.
I think the team was probably going through transition.
Hey,
I can't see it.
I can. I think she looks. Have you seen Dallas Cowboy?
That's like she could have been in her whatever early 20s or whatever, but not her. I don't see it. Sorry.
She looks. I'm not gonna do that with you. She does look like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader to me. Point is, I don't even know how we got off on this. The point is, she has probably been in situations where she was around black guys that did not date black women. I have been growing up in Oklahoma, going to OU. Lots of guys at OU not of black guys that look like Quinton did not date black women. And so she probably has experienced that, right? I feel like she probably has experienced and been around that energy. I mean, if you grow up in Texas or Oklahoma, you're definitely gonna, and men that are athletic are always, I'm gonna just call a spade tonight because we did the mental health check, but athletic black men, white people are fascinated with. So white girls, when going to school at OU, white women were coming after those black athletes like flies on. Like it's crazy. So
do you think that's his connection to Janelle? He likes the fair skin.
I don't know. I don't know. If Quinton is really the only person I'd want to talk to, because he's the only person I don't really understand his mindset. So if Quinton is still open to coming on the show, I would love to talk to him.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it could be. It could be, because you even said tonight, like, maybe it's just I mean, that energy that we don't like to talk about, but we did a segment on colorism around this show. There are a lot of men, and I talk to a lot of men. I have one of my best friends in high school, beautiful dark-skinned guy. He will not date another dark-skinned woman because he did not want his children to look like him. And
Okay.
I hate that, but that's the reality. And I told him, I was like, that's horrible. But because you know what? I don't care if you are, because he was very, 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 very dark skinned. Even if he got with a very fair skin or a white woman, the child could still end up my color or darker. And he does have a daughter that's that way. And he was just like, I didn't want my kids to get picked on like I did.
Wow.
So that could be the situation. But and going back to Kira, I think that she was probably sharing what she has experienced.
Right.
Because being the only Black girl on the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, trust me, you're definitely going to deal with a lot of racism, even if she didn't realize it, even if she doesn't understand it, because I just know that energy. Like growing up in Oklahoma around, that kind of energy, that when I was the only Black girl in a school full of white kids, 2 or 3 of us there. So often, you're trying to be normal, you're trying to fit in, and you're not. So she probably was speaking from her pain. What I like about Kira is that she accepted and took accountability, which I respect. And she was like, I shouldn't have said that. Right now, what did you think about Marie saying, I think I could be too Black for you?
He's too a lot of things. I don't know about too Black for anybody, but yeah, come on, man. I serious at all. Nah, I think it was corny. I think he was just trying to reach for stuff. Like, if you don't like it, you're not feeling it, just say that, man. You know who he is. We already knew who he had his eye on, so.
I think he did not. I think that he did not like her. I'm not sure why Janelle and Jessica did not like her so much. I just, that was super strange. It was, again, she said a lot of things that she definitely needed to mature with, right? She's younger than they are. And for myself, I always feel like I try to give grace to people that are a lot younger than me. She's about 10 years younger than Janelle. So when Janelle was like, I don't know why you would say you're the closest thing to white, because that's not, I don't know if that's supposed to be a compliment, but that's not cute. She was basically belittling her. And even when talking about her purse not being real, she was being hateful to her. But Kira is, I mean, rather, I don't know what the issues were, but I feel like Marie was saying that to her because of his friendship with Janelle and Jessica.
Yeah, he was still corny. That's why I said it was for him to say that. It was another reason.
Yeah, I think that he did that, but I hope, did he apologize to her tonight? He seemed like he was trying to explain it, but
nah, it's too late.
Yeah. But she did get bullied. She did, and the crazy thing is, how do you come on a show, which is sad to me, but this happens a lot. You come on a show with only Black men and only Black women, and you still end up getting bullied that's crazy. Like, you expect to be that way if you're the only Black person, right?
Right.
But when you are amongst each other, you don't expect to be treated like that. So the fact that they took the youngest and tried to make her feel small is really disgusting. But I think another thing, that's the responsibility of the producers to keep that from happening. When Coach LaTanya said yesterday that we are in a state of emergency, I believe everybody.
I felt that. I really felt that.
Yeah, we are, because you know what the problem is, and it's not just Ready to Love. It's all of these shows that show Black women bullying other Black women and that gets the attention, that gets the ratings, that gets the that gets the clips going, and we love that. That's a problem. And
Oh,
so
don't
shout out to Coach Latanya for saying that.
please go click on that and watch that episode from yesterday. It was very informative and it's deep, man. It's
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah. Whereas did you say when she put those white boots on, she put a kick me sign on her back? And I guess, but you know what? She's got a cute shape. She's, she's in shape. She's a cute girl. She just didn't. She just.
Oh, I just want to make sure we talking about the same person.
I'm
Ooh.
talking about Kira.
The Cowboy, Dallas Cowboy.
Yes. I can't. Mo, now you're bullying. Now you're bullying.
I have an opinion. That's all.
Cute is a dime a dozen. Cute doesn't make anything. But I agree, Stacey. Those white boots were her Dallas Cowboy. That's the signature to Dallas Cowboys. It is. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Now, what is there? Jill Marie Jones?
Right.
Her girlfriend was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Right.
She's
that
gorgeous.
Makes sense.
Stop. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on. Moving on. I think she's adorable. I do. I think she's adorable. I think all the women were beautiful. So, rounding this out. Oh, I wanted to talk about Aries and Phil because I saw tonight an interview that Aries did where she basically said that it was other things besides the stability that she wasn't feeling from Phil. She just wasn't into him after a while.
What?
Well, she said that he brought her gifts, brought her some tennis shoes. It sounded like she didn't really like the tennis shoes. And that he brought it up on camera that he had brought her gifts, and that was kind of a turn off. I feel like she just wasn't really feeling him.
Yeah.
In the day. I don't think it was necessarily all because of the stability, but what was interesting to me and was I want to ask you about this because this was kind of sad to me. She said it wasn't about the stability, but it was about the extracurricular things that he mentioned wanting to do that she may not basically want to support, right? May not, the dreams that he wanted to chase
Right.
that she not necessarily want to support at the time. Mentioning his comedy and things like that. And I wonder if have you been with a woman? Because I know, we all have things that we love doing. I mean, me doing this channel, I can't imagine I guess if I met a guy and he was like, why are you talking on YouTube all the time? I probably would just stop talking to him. But that, if somebody said, well, is that making you any money? And if it's not, then that would probably, be hurtful to me if I really liked them a lot. So I just wonder if we give men the same grace that we give women. I mean, I have a business. I make money at my business. I'm a writer. I'm an author. But this is not this YouTube channel doesn't make a lot of money. So
how old is man, I'm getting everybody's name messed up.
Aries?
No.
Phil?
Phil, that's my
He's in his early 40s.
Okay. So if Phil wanted to be a rapper, like I'm working on my mixtape. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not into the rappers.
But that's what it feels like to her. She's like, she's past, like if she was in her 20s and he was trying to do something like that, I'm not mad. I get that. I get that more than him being, you see what I'm saying?
But if he had a job, I guess.
He said he did have a job.
He did. If he has a full-time job and he just wants to go crack jokes on the side.
Just on the side, that's all.
Yeah, but if you really like him, I think if you really like him, you're okay with that. If you're not really into him, then you're not.
Yeah, he didn't say he was quitting his job to do that.
He said he was not quitting his job. But I feel like this is my opinion. This is just Crystal's opinion. If you True Love Forever says Phil is 42 with a child, Aries is 44 with 2 kids. We're not talking about the job. We're talking about something that you do on the side.
Right.
Everybody has things that they like to do on the side, right? So if my husband came home and told me that he wanted to start rapping on the side, I would not I would not be happy, right? I would not be happy, but
Why? He's not trying to make
be happy. But I wouldn't be like, that's so stupid. You're not gonna make any money. I probably would be like, I would pray and be like, Lord, please help him realize that he is not the next little baby. Lord, please help him realize.
it's just recreation. He's not
I
trying.
know, but I feel like I've learned in the little bit of wisdom that I've been able to amass that as a woman, your words are powerful and your mouth can be very powerful. And if you if you break a man's spirit, that can actually do more. Maybe it's just not it just wasn't the man for her.
When they say women can build a house with her hands but destroy it with her mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do know, well, as you said, Crystal knows too many rappers. I do know a lot of rappers personally, but and you're right. You're right. You're right. She said you're married, Crystal. That's different from dating a new man. You're right. You're right. I'm telling you, even with me being married, I don't want him to be a rapper. I'd be like, ooh. Mm.
Yeah, I'm working on my mixtape.
You guys are right. I probably, if I just met somebody, first of all, I probably wouldn't go out with anybody that would be on a reality show. Because I think that's kind of, I'm not into guys that want to.
He definitely would.
I don't like that. That's not my thing. Because if I wanted to, I definitely could because I'm around a lot of guys. But I'm not into that.
Fireman, you into.
I just like men that like can build stuff and seem manly and aren't trying to get likes. I don't like men that take a lot of selfies. Like that's just not my thing, you know. That's just me. But there are a lot of men, as I learned on the Hardly Initiated podcast, that aren't into me. Like, okay. Like, I'm not into the guys that are, that are trying to be famous and trying to get groupies. That's lame to me. But, hey. So maybe comedians are funny, but it takes a long time to get on. I think she just wasn't into him like that.
Right.
I don't think that yes, rough hands on. If a guy has two soft hands like a baby, I don't question. I question if he's going to be able to fix something. Is he going to be able to fix something? Or is he going to be able, or is he like, I was telling somebody tonight, my husband, when we were dating, my daughter's car broke down and she needed a new battery. And he was like, I'll put her battery in. I was like, you can put the battery in? He was like, yeah, it's just a battery. I was like, oh.
Crystal,
Huh?
Listen.
Okay.
And I can change the tire. Why can't you get fly and do both?
You can. No, you can. You can. You can. I'm just saying that I feel like if he's on reality TV and he wants to be famous, we may be going in two different directions.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to make
for me, but again, it doesn't even matter. But I'm just saying for me, I did catch the tingles. I'm sorry. So let's wrap this up. Let's wrap it. Let's wrap it up. Janelle and Quinton, we don't believe.
Hell no.
Quinton is the only person I definitely would want to talk to. I would say out of this, I don't believe anybody's connections were real. I feel like the show has gone on so long that people are using the show as an opportunity to just be on TV and get famous. They're not even remotely even open for love. It's a shit show at this point. Right. So I just, I do like the way Lee carried herself. I think that she carried herself, in a classy way. I think everybody, from this series, there's something you can learn from everybody,
That's a fact.
Yeah. Jason Aries was talking about what she learned in her past marriages. And I will say this. She said she's been married twice. A lot of times women that have been married before, they decide that their next marriage, whether it be second or third or whatever, they're going to focus more on what they want and not about falling in love. I've heard a lot of women say that. I don't know if Aries feels that way, but I have heard a lot of women say the next time it's not going to be about love. It's going to be about finance and business. And I mean that definitely would seem to be more of the thing. I just think her and Phil weren't a good, weren't a good fit. I think Phil definitely needs a type of woman that is more into what he's into, you know. But they were the only couple that we really felt were genuine. I do feel like he was genuine.
Right.
Yeah. I will say about Taquilla, I hope that she will stop standing by Habibi. That's not a good look for her.
It definitely.
I hope she'll stop standing by Habibi because I think their only connection is the fact that she saw both of them as the underdog, and
Right.
that's not a good. That's a trauma bond, girl. We don't want that. And the fact that if she's mad at me, that's okay. Everybody can be mad. I mean, people can, you know, hey, it's fine. It's okay.
But you can't. I'm not like you self-diagnosed. I need a doctor's note or something before I believe any mental. Like I get it, but for you to say that after, like I said, the villain and
well, I believe she probably was depressed when she saw the comments. But my thing to her, which like I said, I apologize for the way I said it, but I would say it to a friend. I would say it to myself if I said something like I said. I got crucified for some of the comments that I made on that highly initiated podcast. The people them guys are mean as hell. Not the host, because I like Ryan and Tashawn. The men in their comments, they were hateful as hell to me. But I don't know those people, so I don't care what they're saying. And then second of all, they took what I said out of context, and I know what I said. So when you know who you are, people can't rattle you that way. So I feel like with her, if she hadn't have been hateful to Phil, who is a person who also deserves to be treated with respect,
right.
would not have gotten that response. That response was not because of her and Janelle, because so many people were like, Janelle is being mean. Janelle's a mean girl. People were not mad at Taquilla about going at Janelle. People were upset about the way she was talking to Phil. That was what was getting the comment. And what I said to her is, I said, you know what? Take accountability and apologize. As a woman, you have to stand on your word. That's what I said to her, and that's what I believe. But I do think that one of the ladies that was here last night, Coach Latanya or Mel, would be a great person to talk to her if she truly wants to find help. I also think these these shows are great opportunities for growth. When you go through something, you get a chance to grow. When I went on Iyanla Fix My Life and Iyanla had me crying the ugly cry, that was an opportunity for me to grow. Did I absolutely love the way I looked on that show? Absolutely not. But it was a great opportunity for me to grow. And if you are a person that wants to be better, then you take opportunities like this and you grow from them. If you don't, it says a lot about you, because at the end of the day, Phil is going to go on his way. Janelle is going to go on her way. Taquilla is the one that's going to have to sit with Taquilla. Janelle is going to have to be the one that sits with Janelle. So if whoever doesn't want to grow, they will be the one dealing with their issues later on. That's what it is. Not on my watch. Yes. Woo. And Iyanla she was not worried about our mental health. She went in on us and I received it. She went in. But I appreciate it. She made me better. Go in on me if it makes me better.
There you go.
I'm with it. I'm with all the shits if it makes me better.
There you go.
That's what it is. So last question, what do you think about this new show? I will say this, to the point of what Coach Latanya and Mel said yesterday. The producers go out of their way to find people that they think are going to do this on camera.
Right.
Now, if you put yourself in a position to do that and play into their game and be a pawn for their ratings, that's on you.
Right.
So they specifically, and those of you who have watched this show will know that they got Zadia, who was problematic in her season, that actually slapped a guy in the face or mushed him in the head, one of them. They got Sharice, who was going back and forth with people through her season. Ashley, who is extremely emotional, and Bernicia. Bernicia wasn't really. She was actually not, didn't have any problematic issues on her season, but they pick personalities that they know are going to clash,
Yep.
and they're putting them in a house.
And we're going down to New Orleans.
And they're doing it in New Orleans. Who in their right mind, as a grown-ass woman, would beat a man in New Orleans for 6 weeks and decide to stay in New Orleans and be with him?
It's a girls' trip. They want to see the drop. You know how
it is a girls' trip. And you guys know that's smart, Mo, because Will Packer did Girls Trip.
Yeah.
And Will Packer is doing this show. This is a spinoff, but I will say this. I'm going to be doing a live with the ladies, so you guys will have to stay tuned because we're going to do a live watch party with them, hopefully. But the thing about it is, they are spinning off. If you know 90 Day Fiance, which comes on TLC, I did a story about that for Collider. They have made 20 spinoffs from that one show. So I love the fact that Will Packer is being very smart, and he's allowing Ready to Love has a very captive audience. We love it. We love talking about it. We love hating on it. We love all that, but we're tuned in. So they can continue to make spinoffs based on Ready to Love. There could be Ready to Love down the line, Ready to Love with different cast members that are in relationships. They have several couples that have made it and are still together. There's Reva and Mario. There's Clifton and Joy are on Love and Marriage DC, but there are several couples from Ready to Love that are, or even people that are in new relationships. Marvin and his girl that are in the lifestyle, that would be interesting to watch,
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't think they didn't I can't take the resort. The resort would be a lot. That was during COVID that they had everybody on lockdown. And you guys know during the resort, there was a girl that was 5 months pregnant that was on the show.
What?
She was literally on Ready to Love, 5 months pregnant.
For what?
Looking for love. She was looking for love. And she was like, well, I got picked, and it's not fair that I don't go on because I'm pregnant.
Man, she ain't looking for love. She's looking for help.
Well, you said about a lot of women.
Yeah, there's a lot of women, a lot of people looking for help. Men, I know some bums looking for help. Men.
Yeah. So, hobosexuals.
Homosexual. There you
and
go.
With a lot of women that are out. I would say this to anybody. What you lead with is what you use as your bait is the type of fish you will catch. Yeah. So if you lead with your bunny, you will catch somebody that's just looking for the money, men or women.
Nobody says I love you faster than the nigga that need a place to stay. Charlie.
That's true. And you need to hear that. Looking for a baby daddy, ready for a baby daddy.
Right.
It's been some crazy situations. What did this one girl Jeffrey called the guy her biblical husband? Yeah. All right, Mo, last words on what you saw on this reunion. What advice would you give to men in the dating world that you saw on this show?
Wow, man. It's not enough time. Take your time, man. Especially, I think young men and older men move kind of fast. And when I mean older men, men who are getting up in their 40s,
yeah,
the men in their early 20s, kind of move the same speed, but for different reasons, though, right? Yeah. And then it's the guys that are in between that kind of take their time and figure it out. You start to, as a man, start to get up there in your 40s, and like, I don't know.
I want somebody to wash their clothes and cook their dinner.
Testosterone is going down. You can't give it to everybody no more. And then you just kind of in a situation where you just kind of, it's time to settle down.
Yeah.
And you try to find the right one then. And, a lot of times, man, they're not looking for, they don't want an old man either. They want somebody youthful, because when he's going down, she's going up, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just say, take your time, man, and people reveal themselves. I'm basing everything because I live in Atlanta, so it's like you don't want to be out here, man. Trust me. But it's nasty. But from what I hear, it's nasty all over out here, man. But if you got
whatever God has for you won't miss you. So
right.
I saw a video clip today that went viral where these women were talking about, oh, if you're in Atlanta, you don't. But I mean, God is bigger than any issue, right? He's bigger than numbers and statistics. So if you pray and you believe, I believe that God will give you the desires of your heart, but you have to believe it and you have to speak positivity. When you speak negativity comes back to you. So my thing would be to women, if you really want a relationship, I would not go on Ready to Love. Now, if you want to be popping for 6 weeks, cool, do that. But at the end of the day, if you really want to be in a relationship, first of all, understand why you want to be in a relationship. Do you want to be in a relationship because you truly want love? Because if you want to be in a relationship, being in a relationship means you are willing to sacrifice, means you are willing to serve another person. And I think a lot of people just want to be in a relationship because of what it can give to them, not necessarily what they can give to the other person. And that's one of the things that is very dysfunctional when people do that. But I think just believe, pray, work on yourself, and what's for you will not miss you. I really want to say anything less than an I want you from a man is a no. Anything less than him showing you and showing up, it's a no. So if you're in limbo, sis,
You know
it's
what?
a no.
That's great advice, and that's true. That's true. That's very, very true.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything less, and because I did that. I mean, Mo, I would call you and ask you, what do you think about this? And he said that. And then I realized all the guys I had to ask you questions about were not into me like that.
No.
It didn't mean that there was anything wrong with me. It just wasn't it. Aw, my honey bunny's on. My honey bunny. My husband's on. That's what I'm saying. Why are you looking at me like that? But yeah, that would be my listen to his words, listen to his actions, not his words. His actions.
Yeah, I always say that, man. Listen with your eyes, and we as people, we say things like, I don't really trust what anyone. It's not what they say. I do what people respond to, because people say a lot of stuff, but what they respond to is really the truth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the
That's
listen
true.
eyes.
That's true. Well, I appreciate all you guys hanging out with us for this season. Mo, you got to come back and we got to recap these episodes of Make a Move.
Yes,
I think these are going to be good because we're going to get a chance to recap these dates.
like that.
Dates. And so I love the fact that Mo actually is able to give the guys' perspective on these dates. And it's only 4 women, so we don't have to worry about, you know, 10 and 10 and not, we got 4 women. We're going to be able to break down these dates, you guys. Um, Adrian said, Mo, you on the inside, why you got shades on?
I got in a fight the other day. Somebody blacked my eye.
He's being cool. He's being cool.
No,
You know what, Adrian? I
my
found
eyes looking my eyes be looking crazy on the thing, so I just was like, I'm good. This way
yes,
y'all.
so
And
we're gonna do that now. I want to give you guys a treat because there were several ladies that were really into Mo that were sliding in his DMs, and I put his Instagram there _Scorpio Moe. But I found, Mo and I met about 20 years ago when I was his publicist and he was an artist. And so
or nothing. We're good.
I want to play it. In fact,
Oh
C-Dub,
no!
I want to play a little bit of
No!
Mo rapping. Um,
I'm gonna go. What?
just for the ladies that may be interested.
Dude,
What?
you didn't tell me it was going to.
Hey, C-Dub. Uh-oh, hold on. Oh,
yeah. We
no,
good.
no, we're going back to it.
We good. Listen, y'all.
Just a little bit of, just a little. Just some smooth stylings of Mo Better. Just a smooth styling.
That
That was 15 years ago. That was 15 years ago, Mo. That was fun. That felt good. That was fun.
I got you though. We good. I got you.
Thank you guys for hanging out. I want to wish everybody an amazing, amazing weekend. We will be back. Like I said, I'm going to do a live with the ladies, and then Mo and I will be recapping. Make a move.
Make a move.
Make a move. We're back on. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll see you guys back here on Monday at 8 for Reality Check as always. All right?
Safe, y'all.
Good night.